Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. Today I'm reading out loud my University of Pennsylvania writing supplement essays from 5 years ago. I'm making these videos because I want you to have the easiest and most effective time writing your college application essays and kind of to give you some sample essays of what to do, what not to do, some structure, and some examples because it always makes it easier to see other people's essays and see kind of the final product of what they were thinking. If you don't know who I am, my name is Naman. I'm a first year medical student at Washington University. I've been editing essays for the last 5 years or so, give or take, and I'm really, really passionate about it. It's one of the things that I really love to do. Um, so yeah, I'm just going to get started and read out loud this essay. This essay was essentially a why are you applying to our school slash why UPenn essay. And these are very, very common essays. So in general, these are pretty good essays to kind of look at just because they show up so often in almost every single college that you're going to apply to. All right. No way, I stammered. I stood there in my monogrammed lab coat, holding a euthanized mouse that seemingly refused to accept its death. It tossed and turned violently as its autonomic nervous system continued to fire off signals. The poor creature, born lacking the vital SOX11 gene in its cortical cells, had become an unwitting ally in my quest to learn more about brain development. Over the next week, I stained the tissue samples with fluorescent antibodies and visualized the cell structure under a microscope. Though unforgettable, the event was a typical experience during last summer's 8-week internship at Georgetown University's Donahue Laboratory. The brain has long intrigued me. I'm astonished that sublime emotional experiences and great intellectual pursuits are all rooted in the simple firing of neurotransmitters and tidbits of DNA. Access to transgenic technology during the internship enabled me to help map the very program that underlies consciousness. I advanced my lab's evolutionary mapping project by comparing mouse and frog neuronal morphology and was duly thrilled when the American Academy of Neurology recognized my research among the top 15 neuroscience research projects in the country. My curiosity continued far beyond my enriching internship. At science fairs, I met experts who critiqued my procedures and cross-examined my knowledge of neuroscience. This encouraged me to keep reading primary source articles from my mentor's neuroscience reading list. Actually, my aforementioned final project begged more enticing questions, such as how can experience itself strengthen the signaling power of the synapse? Which proteins in the nervous system respond to injury? I hope to continue researching the answers at UPenn with renowned experts, including Dr. Raper and Dr. Greg Bashaw. UPenn's College of Arts and Sciences is the perfect venue for me to pursue and refine my neuroscience research. I'm eager to study the biological basis of behavior program. My high school has exposed me to numerous learning strategies, and I'm excited by BBB's creative teaching method that combines lectures, group learning, and independent research. Two particular courses, Experimental Methods in Synaptic Physiology and Neuroendocrinology Seminar, interest me because they encourage class dialogue and the latest neurobio research and in-depth analysis of relevant papers. Furthermore, I would love to partake in outreach efforts through Kids Judge Neuroscience Research Fair and Neuroscience Pipeline Program. Thus, I could help imbue in others the love I feel for the realm. I'm equally interested in UPenn's unique holistic liberal arts approach. Through debate, I've read numerous books by philosophers such as David Hume, Immanuel Kant, and John Locke, and I've absorbed the importance of articulating philosophical ramifications of science to lay people. For such reasons, I want to minor in philosophy. The intersection of the two fields suggests numerous questions regarding the nature of consciousness and the possibility of a human soul. Questions I would love to explore with Professor Hatfield and Professor DeMotter. Last year, I watched Dr. Farah's YouTube lecture on cognitive enhancement to prepare for a debate, and I was struck by how accessible she made esoteric material. Her questions forced me to contemplate the broader ramifications of potential technological advancements. Finally, the student body's unbridled enthusiasm for UPenn culture would further enrich my college experience. The Penn Debate Society offers an excellent opportunity to enhance my skills and befriend like-minded peers. An avid dancer who has performed at Indian weddings in front of hundreds, I would also enjoy being a part of Penn Masti. On my second college visit, I met many students who praised the faculty's availability to students during free time, which helps support a relaxed and productive environment, and I know that I will find my place both academically and culturally. All right, that's the essay. So I'll just give you a little bit of tips, things that I noticed on the second time reading this out loud after so many years. So in general, whenever they're asking the why UPenn essay, and you might recognize this because this is a pretty common essay that I read out loud, obviously with a lot of variations. But when you have a why us essay that's really long, like in this case, 650 words, it's kind of like your second opportunity for a Common App essay, where you kind of get the opportunity to explain what you're interested in and like a huge project that you worked on, or how you've gone outside the classroom and sought to satisfy your intellectual curiosity. And so if you can talk about maybe something you're interested in, and a project that you worked on, or questions that you asked somebody, or some tutoring that you did, or like research that you did, maybe if you're interested in computer science and you worked on an app or something, these are all, or you went to science fairs or anything like that, any way that you sought to satisfy your intellectual curiosity is usually a pretty good way to start these essays, because then you can kind of move on down toward the essay and explain how you want to further satisfy your intellectual curiosity by going to that school. And this was actually an essay that was accepted by UPenn. And so you can kind of see how from here I asked a couple of questions about, well, here is all the past. These are the things that I've done to explore my intellectual curiosity. And here is kind of where my limit is, which is that I have more questions that I want to ask, and I'm not able to ask them unless I go to UPenn. And now you can kind of see the future, which is I want to go to UPenn and do these things to satisfy my intellectual curiosity even further. And when you can do this, you're basically telling the school that, you already have a plan, you already have an idea of what you would want to do at that school, and how you would want to how you'd want to explore and take advantage of the resources that are offered at that school. And so if you can kind of mention as many specific things as possible. So notice that I talk about specific professors I want to work with. I talk about the program that I want to join. I talk about the courses that I want to be a part of. Explain why those courses are interesting to me. I kind of explain the volunteer efforts that I want to be a part of. These are all like good things to include in your essay, because they all kind of show that you're already thinking about what you would take advantage of as a student. And then you can see that I actually don't just stick to neuroscience. I talk about how I'm interested in philosophy and literature and debate, and kind of expand with this paragraph into that realm. So I talk about, me being interested in philosophy, and then I talk about how maybe I could minor in philosophy at UPenn, and then maybe ask about the possibility of a human soul, and questions I would ask to specific professors. And then I mentioned a professor whose YouTube video I watched, and kind of from UPenn, by the way, and how I kind of got really interested in this topic. And so you can kind of see that I'm also expanding it beyond neuroscience to talk about something else I'm interested in. And then I focus on the intersection of those two fields, which is kind of interesting, the philosophy of neuroscience, and maybe the broader ramifications of these technological advancements, the nature of consciousness, the possibilities of human soul. So now we're getting into very specifics about what I'm interested in. And then finally, you can kind of see the last paragraph is talking about the student culture, and like what I'd be interested in terms of maybe like games I want to be in and things like that. So this is kind of a sample structure. Obviously, you can kind of focus on however you want to write these essays, but something that always served me well was if I focus in the beginning about kind of the interest that I have, and then explain how the school that I'm applying to will satisfy these interests. Because, the secret to these essays is that they're not just asking you to mention things about that school that you're applying to. You also want to mention things about yourself that make you a good candidate for that school. And the best way to do that is to show, well, these are the things I'm interested in. These are the really impressive things that I've done to kind of explore my intellectual curiosity. And these are the things I'm going to do in the future at your school to satisfy the intellectual curiosity even more. And if you can kind of combine those three elements, you're going to show that you're a really great candidate, that you've done your research on the school, and that you would be a great student at that school. So that's all I have for you. I hope this was a helpful essay, a helpful read aloud, a helpful analysis. And if you have any questions, please feel free to leave them in the comments below. If you want professional essay editing, I offer that service as well. That's going to be down below as well. And I hope you have a really great day. See you in the next video. Bye, everybody.